Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Also, make sure to check out the third wave of the third wave merchandise. And well, in this video, I want to talk about a mistake I made. And well, what is that mistake? Well, basically, I said that the Fed meeting is on May 6th or actually May 7th, I believe. And well, it turns out it's actually tomorrow, I believe, so I don't think it's today, meaning that I actually accidentally misled you, and well, that's okay, because it doesn't really matter, but I'm sorry for that. And well, right now let's look at Cardano. So as you can see, we are still in a second wave move down. I told you a couple of days ago that we will most likely test the 0.618 support level before we do anything. And also the fact that we're going down right now is actually very bullish, because I mean, if the Fed meeting, happens and they see that the market is actually going down, maybe they have a reason to do something, but I mean, it's not going down that much anyways, so we'll see what the decision is. And right now I am expecting Cardano to get to the oversold territory in the 4-hour chart. Keep in mind, this is going to be very bullish. The last time it was oversold was down here when Cardano was at about 51 cents, and well, right now to get to the oversold territory we would kind of have to get to the 0.786 support level instead of the 618. Now maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe if we just go sideways for a bit, that could get us in the oversold territory, and yes, that could theoretically happen. So we'll see if we see any kind of reaction right here, or if we go lower. If we go lower, it's gonna be okay. Now I also saw some comments yesterday asking me if this structure is not an A, B, C, D, E structure, and if that's the case, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. It's the exact same thing as what we have right here. If it's an A, B, C, D, E, or if it's an ABC followed by a 1-2 setup, it's pretty much the exact same thing. So no matter what happens, I mean, if it is an ABCDE, then the support level right here will be broken and will most likely test this support level again, and well, that could turn into an ABC structure, so not even then I will be able to tell you that this is an ABCDE. Now keep in mind, even if that is the case, we'll still go up after that, so it does not really change anything. It's only, the short term. Now I am aware of the fact that it could take a bit longer, but I mean, who really cares about that? I mean, if you have been in the market for, the past couple of months, I think you are already used to the boring, days, so I think this is fine. Now, if you don't want to see any more boring days, then you have to hope that right now we are trying to form a 1-2 setup and not the D and E of this ABC right here. So we'll see what happens. Now, the next target for the third wave of this 1-2 setup here is 85.8 cents. We also need to get above the bull market support then before we do that, and above the 200-day moving average, so there's going to be a lot of resistance right here. Also, I have the 1.618 of the other 1-2 setup on the chart as well, because there's going to be resistance here as well. But if we break above this, region, which let's say it's between 72.4 cents and about actually 80 cents, then the road to 85 cents is gonna be very, very fast, and that's gonna be the third wave of this 1-2 setup. Then we'll need a fourth wave move down and a fifth wave move up, and that will complete the other third wave of this 1-2 setup. The target for that is around, let's say, 88 to 90 cents. I will give you a target for it once you get the third wave, if you get the third wave. And well, right now I'm still bullish. I mean, the market is obviously waiting for a decision by the Fed, and until we get that, I mean, we're not gonna get anything else. Now, I want to talk about Ethereum for a second, because actually not a couple of weeks ago, but even a couple of days ago, I told you that we will most likely get some type of, lower low or maybe a higher low right here, which could put us in the oversold territory on the weekly. I think you already know what I'm talking about here. We are not in the oversold territory. We were very close to getting to the oversold territory, and then we had a bounce, but as you can see, this bounce was not really that great because we did not get above the moving average on the weekly RSI, and that's not good because this means we could get rejected, and that could give us another low or a higher low. I mean, right now a higher low could theoretically put us in the oversold territory, so that's what I am waiting for right now. Now, I also said that if Ethereum breaks above $2,100 and if it breaks above the moving average on the weekly RSI, this is most likely not going to happen anymore. But until that happens, I'm not going to give up on this theory because it could still happen. Now, I also want to talk about Bitcoin for a second. I think you already know what I have to say about the weekly chart, so I'm not going to talk about this right now. Instead, I want to focus on the 4-hour chart, and let me zoom in on this. As you can see, I put a trend line on the chart. I think yesterday, and we kind of reacted to it, so we'll see if this holds or not. If it does not hold, then we will most likely test the 200-day moving average. I have no idea where the bull market support band went, but I think it went away, so whatever. And yeah, we'll most likely test that. If we do test that, that's also gonna put us in the oversold territory on the 4-hour chart, and that's actually very, very good. Also, the bull market support band is back right now, and if we go to the oversold territory on the 4-hour chart, I mean, the last time we were in the oversold territory was down here when Bitcoin was at $75,000, so this is actually extremely good. And well, Bitcoin right now is just waiting for a cross on the bull market support band. The same thing could be said about ADA, so this is what we're waiting for. Could we get another low? I don't think so. I think the low is already in, and I think the move that is happening right now looks very similar to what happened over here. As you can see, we tried getting above the bull market support band, then we got below it to test it, and then when we finally got back above it and when we had a cross on the bull market support band, that confirmed that the low was in right here and that we were going for all-time highs. And I think right now we just have the exact same pattern, and I've been talking about this pattern for many months at this point. I mean, I've been talking about the weekly chart for so long now, I'm getting bored of it. But if you have no idea what I'm talking about, basically where we went right here on the RSI, we went to the exact same RSI levels that we went to when we got, to this low and to this low right here. And what do you think happened after that? We had a bounce, and I told you about that when Bitcoin was literally at $75,000. I told you that we got to the, RSI level that we got previously, and well, what do you think happened after that? We had a bounce, and right now Bitcoin is above the moving average on the weekly chart, which is very, very bullish. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, I need to talk about something else, and that is the monthly chart. Right now, if we do not manage to get above the moving average on the monthly chart, this could actually start a bear market, and this could actually mean that the top is already in. So this is what we need to do right now. We need to get back above it, and we cannot get rejected by it. So by the end of May, I kind of want to see this close a wick above the moving average, because if we do not, it could be a situation like 2021. Here, for example, after we dropped below the moving average, did we get a new all-time high after that? Yes, we did. However, as you can see, we did not get back above the moving average, and that pretty much put us in a bear market. So this is what we need to do right now. We need to get above the moving average. And well, that's it about Bitcoin, and that's it about Ethereum. Now I also want to talk about the S&P 500, because what it's doing is also very, very important. And for this, I guess we need to go on the daily chart. As you can see, it's currently at the bull market support band. And if we do not get above the bull market support band on this chart, and if we actually get rejected right now, that could lead to a, correction in the entire market. And yes, I'm talking about Bitcoin as well, meaning that if we get rejected, I mean, Bitcoin could drop back in the 80s and maybe even drop below the bull market support band like it did right here, and then maybe the S&P goes up again, tries testing the bull market support band again, and that's when we get back above it, and that's when it gets to all-time highs. So I still believe that this is a normal cycle. I still believe that Bitcoin is in a 4-year cycle, and I still believe that Bitcoin will be at above, let's say, $140,000 by the end of the second week of June. And I saw a comment yesterday asking me why I keep changing my predictions, and I did not change my prediction. I mean, it has been the end of May for quite a long time, and then I looked at the chart and I saw something interesting, and I think I saw it in 2017, I believe. So here, when the summer drop happened in 2017, it started in the second week of June. That's why I'm giving it another 2 weeks, because I mean, theoretically you could say that here it was going up even at the end of May. So that's why I don't want to say that things will top at the end of May, because I think we could easily, go higher and, continue until at least the middle of June, at least based on what happened in 2017. Now, is this going to happen again? I have no idea, and actually nobody has any idea. So we are just speculating right here, and we're just using the data that happened and the data that we have to, get an idea of what could happen next. But I mean, right now, based on at least what Bitcoin did in the cycle so far, maybe it's safe to assume that it will continue going up throughout the summer, because if you go on the weekly chart right now, and I talked about this yesterday, but basically here, after it got this low right here, it went up for, let's see, about 180 days before it actually started going down. And here, After getting this low, it went up for about 133 days before starting to go down, which means that after this low right here, I mean, if we only go up like 130 days, that's gonna put us in August. Now, if we go up, let's say about 180 days like we did right here, that puts us in October, and usually Bitcoin drops in October, which means that right now Bitcoin could theoretically continue going up until October, and then we have a bigger drop that puts us back in the 100k region. Now, why 100k? Because this low right here was exactly 25k, the next low was 50k, and this low right now was 75k, leading me to believe that the next low will most likely be 100k. Now, when are we gonna get this? I have no idea. All I know is that usually when Bitcoin goes down, or at least in this cycle, when it went down, I mean, we had three major corrections. The first one was 22%, the second one was 33%, and the third one was 30%, which means that if we actually want to drop back to $100,000, Bitcoin would have to drop at least 20 to 30%, and to do that, I mean, we would need to be at about $140,000. I mean, from $140,000 back to about $100,000, that's a 30% drop, and as you know from this cycle and the previous couple of cycles, I mean, Bitcoin likes to drop at least 30% during the bull market, so I think this correction is gonna happen, but only after we get to new all-time highs. And keep in mind, even if it does happen, and even if we drop back to 100k, I think after that it's still possible to get another wave up, and that's gonna be the main fifth wave to the upside. So right now I believe we are still in the main third wave, and we are trying to finish the fifth wave of that third wave. I think I will give you a target for that tomorrow. And well, I know this is not a Bitcoin video, but if you want to understand what's happening in the market, you kind of have to know what's going on, because otherwise you're not gonna understand anything. And honestly, I mean, what Cardano does is not really relevant right now, because if Bitcoin does not move, then Cardano will not move either. So yeah, right now, speaking of Cardano, if you go on the weekly chart, it's currently getting rejected by the moving average right here on the RSI, which is not great, and this usually means that we're, you know, about to go down again. I mean, here we did it multiple times. We got above the moving average, or we tested the moving average and we got rejected a bunch of times, but after we got above it and after we tested it right here, that's when, you know, we had this big pump. So this is what we're waiting for right now. We are waiting for the cross on the bull market support band, and we are waiting for Cardano to get to the above the moving average on the weekly RSI, retest it, and then do something like this over here, and that's gonna be the main third wave, the third wave of the third wave, which is the third wave of this one. To set up, the target for that is $3.50, and then a fourth wave move down and a fifth wave move up should theoretically put the main third wave above $5, at least based on what happened in the previous cycle. I'm not gonna talk about, you know, that too much in this video because I already talked about that a couple of days ago. But things are actually looking very bullish. I mean, Cardano is respecting support levels, even though it's looking a little bit boring because it's going sideways. Please do not forget that here it was also going sideways, and as you can see, after that we had this big move to the upside, and I was making videos back here warning you that it could go up because of the cross on the bull market support band, and what you know, it went up. Of course, during this time when it was going up, everybody was thanking me and, you know, they were praising me for my predictions, but then again, after it started going down, everybody started calling me an idiot and things like that. So yeah, that's what happens when you FOMO in. So please not FOMO in, and please actually consider buying altcoins when they are, you know, at cycle lows or in the support zone like they are right now. For example, everything is in the support zone. Well, Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin is above it right now, but you know, I mean, at 75k, if you did get it right here, then congratulations, you are already up quite a bit. Now, I mean, that's all we have. I mean, we're still waiting for Cardano to do something, and on the daily chart, I mean, this is not looking that great because we got below the moving average right here. So what we need to do right now is get back above it, because otherwise we could get a much bigger correction, and that could put us back to like 55 cents, maybe even less, maybe even some type of triple bottom right here. I don't really see that happening, but we'll see what the Fed says today or tomorrow. I'm not really sure when the Fed meeting is. I'm not really a crypto news channel. I just, you know, I googled the Fed date and it said May 6th or 7th, so I have no idea when the meeting actually is, but I mean, we're waiting for it and we'll see what happens. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates for only like $5 a month. Also, check out the third wave of the third wave merchandise. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.